going on, guys? Welcome to the third ExpressJS tutorial, and today we're going to be going over two things. We're going to be going over a different template engine. In the last video I showed ExpressJS and how to pass data into a front-end template, and in this one we're going to be collecting form data using a view engine, and it's called Pug, this view engine. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create our new folder for our project. We're going to call it form collection, or whatever you would like. We're going to open it with Visual Studio Code, and we'll pull that over here. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do npm I express pug body parser and nodemon. And those are just the dependencies we're going to be installing. So it's ExpressJS, obviously. Pug is our new view engine. And what body parser is going to allow us to do is it's going to let us use the encoded URL data that's passed through the form and then display it to the user. So we'll see how we do that in just a sec here. We have to do npm init, almost forgot. Okay, so we have our package.json and we got our dependencies. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do our only script is going to be nodemon server.js, and it's going to be called dev, and this is just so that we can keep our server up while we make changes. And we're going to make the file server.js, and then we're going to bring our dependencies in. So const express equals require express const app, and then we're going to call the express function. Const path is require path, and this is just for routes. So const body parser require body parser. And then we're going to do app.set, and we're going to do views. Then this is where we're going to use path, and it's going to do path.join. We're going to do underscore dir name, and that's going to be the current directory. And then we're going to connect it to a folder called views, which we are going to make in just a sec. Then we're going to do app.set. We're going to do view engine, and we're going to do pug. What that's going to do is basically set our view engine to the dependency we just installed earlier, which is called pug. And what we do here is we do app.use, and then we're going to do body parser and do .url encoded, and then open that up, do brackets, and we're going to add the property of extended equals is true. And what this basically does is it allows us to get data from the actual URL, which is how the form handles it. It just goes, it ignores certain characters. So an example would be like question mark, ampersand, and plus sign, and we'll see how that applies in just a sec here. So let's continue. We're going to do app.listen on port 5000. Then we're going to begin creating our routes in just a sec, but first we have to create our views folder. And what we're going to have in views is we're going to have login.pug, and we're going to have signup.pug. Sorry, for this one we're just going to be doing the login. We're not going to be doing the post in this video. I got ahead of myself for a second there. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to do doc type HTML, and then under that HTML. And this is just some boilerplate pug syntax. So for head, do title login. You can just name it something like that, but you don't need like the closures and things that you would need in a typical style sheet, or template. So what we do here, body, and then what we're going to put in the body is a form, and our form action is going to be login user. Oh, wait, we gotta login user, and then input type equals text, name equals username. we're going to do input type, oh, whoopsie daisy, password name equals password. We're going to do input type equals submit, value equals login, name equals login. Alright, and then we'll have our basic template set up. And so now what we need to do is we need to set the routes for that. And so the way we're going to do that is we're going to do app.get, and then this is going to be our default URL, so just the slash, and we're going to do request response. And then we're going to redirect that actually with the response. And we're going to do slash login. And then app.get login request response. Oop. And then we're going to do a res render login. So now we're just going to test this, see what's cooking so far. npm run dev, and then we're going to open that. Alright, so we're redirected upon, here I'll actually re-demonstrate that. So when you go here, it just redirects to login, and that's what we did here with the redirect function. And so basically now what we need is we need to get the, oh wait, I didn't even, whoops, I didn't write action, hold on. You're supposed to write form action equals, and then what basically this does is when you use the submit input, this is called in the browser with this data to pass through. So what we can do as an example would be like with app.get login user request response. You could do like response send request query username. And obviously you can do like if statements, middleware, things like that. So this is just an example of how to get the data from the encoded URL. So let's see that real quick. So we got login. We're going to just do admin, sure. And then it displays the username. And it does that by knowing what these characters mean through this function over here. So you see how it says username equals admin, password equals, so that this is the data that's being passed from the form. So these objects, based on what the user types, are passed into the URL, which we capture from this, and then we can display it, or do whatever we want with it, compare it, submit it to our database, and anything like that. So hopefully you got something out of this, and I'll see you in the next video.